Hi. This time I want to talk about what to do when you have an idea of launching a marketplace. Usually when we talk about marketplaces, we imagine something like Airbnb, Booking.com, Amazon, Uber, BlaBlaCar, or any other famous marketplace. But the reality is that all these marketplaces, they have been growing for many years, and they have a lot of challenges behind them. They have a lot of assumptions they tested. Some of them got verified, some of them were not verified. So usually marketplace at early stage is not about a piece of software or some platform which is online. This is rather about some process which is being handled manually, and this manual process allows you to test your main assumption, get a proof of concept, and better understand your target audience, pain points, issues, and so on. So when you have an idea of launching a marketplace, I would start at filling LeanCanvas model. LeanCanvas is a very famous tool which helps you to focus on a couple of crucial points of your marketplace. For example, who is your target audience, what kind of issues it has, how your product is going to solve those issues, what is your unique value proposition, and what kind of traffic channels you can use to reach out to this target audience and bring it to your marketplace and start generating transactions. Usually people say that there is chicken and egg problem, and you never know where to start, whether to get suppliers or customers, But the reality is that in the most cases, suppliers are selling their products or services somewhere. So you can find them on other platforms. You can browse their websites to find their simple websites or not very simple websites where they are trying to sell their products or services. Or you can even meet them offline if you're trying to disrupt an offline niche. So you can go to some kind of meetup where your suppliers are present. Again, you need to understand who are your target suppliers. Those suppliers whose need to sell more is very visible and almost tangible, and this will be your early adopters from supplier side. Talking about customers, well, LeanCanvas will help you to better understand your early adopters from customer side, and you can figure out from 1 to 3 traffic channels which most likely will generate you some traffic of these early adopters. To do this, you just need to better understand where exactly you can find them. So you should have some kind of user customers profile, and from this customer profile you will understand what do they use from digital or non-digital world, which will help you to reach out to them and bring them to your marketplace. So for example, they can use Instagram, they can also have some meetups, or I don't know, maybe they just Google some particular keywords. So you need to figure out this. And when you will fill in Canvas, you will have more precise vision of what needs to be done in terms of the next steps in your marketplace. As the next step, there can be something very simple. So you can launch simple website, even a landing page, which just describes your idea for both sides, for suppliers and customers. And the best approach is to reach out to like 10 or 20 suppliers to have an interview with them to better understand their issues, what would they expect from the services like you are trying to create, and agree that you will send them some interested customers and they will pay you some commission after the transaction will be completed. So in this case, when you are creating your landing page, you can also highlight a couple of your suppliers, and their services or products. So it will be more for customers, it will be easier to understand and to choose a particular supplier or a particular product. So there also has to be some kind of request form where your customers will be able to leave their contact details and their request, and this request will be sent to you. And when you receive a request, you see, this customer wants this particular service or product, and you already have the list of suppliers who can provide this customer with this service or product, and you call those suppliers and you tell them, hey, I have a customer for you. Would you like to schedule an appointment if it's about a service, or would you like to send your product to this customer? And after you confirm this on supplier side, you call your customer and say, hey, everything is confirmed, the transaction will happen offline, you pay to this supplier directly, and so on. This is a very important thing. Don't expect to start earning money from the very beginning of your marketplace, because at this stage it makes more sense to test the proof of concept, your main assumptions, to understand whether your idea is viable or not. If your relationships with suppliers are more or less reliable, they will pay you the commission you ask them for. If they want, you can exclude them from your marketplace, for example. So you can also manage this, but it doesn't mean that you need to own any transaction from the very beginning. From one point it's time consuming, from another point you will just spend some time on handling this transaction instead of facilitating transactions and making sure that everything goes properly. So after the transaction is completed offline, you should call your customer and your supplier to ask them about their feedback from this transaction, and usually they will tell you exactly what they would like to improve in this process. So you just can take a pen and a piece of paper and just write down everything they tell you, because there will be a lot of insights which you may not think about at the stage of starting your marketplace, because it's impossible to predict 100% how exactly your marketplace will look like in even 3 months from the starting date. So your customers and your suppliers will definitely tell you what exactly they would like to see on your marketplace, so they will continue using it. And after you will have a couple of transactions, at least 10 for example, and you will have enough of feedback in terms of what needs to be improved, there will be another challenge for you. So you will need to decide what kind of this from this feedback, what kind of things you need to improve. So it would be great to prioritize this list, to understand how each of these features affects your general model, and how expensive it will be to implement this feature, and so on. And sometimes this is the point when you need to think about whether you need something more automated, like a platform which is stored online or something like that, because it will save you a lot of time. You won't need to call suppliers and customers and then have feedback from one side, from another side, and so on. So sometimes this is an option, just to make your customers and suppliers communicate and interact directly. But it's not a magic pill. In some cases it works, in some cases it's not. It depends on your idea, really. Sometimes just getting a proof of concept is not enough to understand how exactly your marketplace should look like, or even to start developing this marketplace. Another one trigger to start automating your process step by step is when you start receiving a lot of requests from your customers, and it's so time consuming that you by yourself you cannot handle all those requests. Of course, we dream about this. When we say marketplace, we imagine like thousands of transactions daily, but it always starts step by step, and in a good scenario you will have like 10 transactions per month, which will be very, very good for the first or even the second month. But when you get to the point when transactions cannot be handled just by yourself, it also makes sense to think whether you need to hire another one person who will be capable to handle another bunch of transactions, for example 30. And when this person will be also loaded by 30 transactions per month, you will need to hire another one person, or you can think of automating this process somehow, again via online platform, for example, or just some simple online tool which will save you some time on a particular stage of your user flow. So basically that's it. If you have any questions about starting a marketplace, please leave a comment. And in the next video I'm going to have an interview with one of the established marketplaces. So subscribe to this channel to not to miss this video, and talk to you soon. Bye!